Howdy friends, Scott Grove, Dr. Groovy from GroovyMusicLessons.com had a request to do, yes, some more mandolin stuff. So today I'm going to go through just 3 single chords as you see up there in the description. Just going to do the C, the F, and the G, and just like guitar, if you play guitar, the F is always a monster. Okay, no different here. Okay, so I'll be going through just the chords, some stuff you can add to the chords, of course the little scales, and some strumming techniques, and so forth. Okay, about as much as you can do in those 3 chords after you've learned just the chords. So it's just beyond the basics. Okay, but it'll get you a long way past that. So we'll hang out for a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it takes. Okay, so strap on or just sit down. We'll just have some fun. All right. I just poked myself in the flipping eye. Better wash my hands. Catch you in a sec. Okay, folks. This is about all you'll see of me until the end of the video. Again, we're going to do C, F, and G. And just for our sake and everybody else's sake, if you just don't know the chords, easy enough. We'll get them right now. Okay, and hopefully you just know what string is what. If you're a guitar player coming here looking for a quick way to get to this, remember that everything is tuned backwards of the top 4 strings of your guitar, or if you play fiddle, it's tuned exactly the same. Okay, so you've actually got your high E string, A strings, D strings, and G string. Okay, so it's exactly, if you take a bass guitar, the notes will be the same but backwards. Okay, so this unit is actually played backward from any instrument that you've ever played, again, unless you have played fiddle before. And then this should come pretty easily for you. Okay, we're going to do the C chord, which we're going to go here on the A string. Use our 3rd finger, or our ring finger here on the 3rd fret. And then up here on the D string, the middle finger, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, and that is it. We can strum all 4 or all 8 strings actually. Okay, what I'm using there as far as strumming, you can use whatever you want, but what I'm doing there is okay. And that is down, up, and down, and then stopping it. Called palm muting. Take the palm of your hand, actually the side of the palm, and stop the ringing. Then again. Okay. And then one more time. So we're doing the palm muting thing twice. Down, up, down, palm mute. And then again. Okay, I did do a little thing in there, so. Okay, just 3 times. Just throw it in there if you want. Okay, otherwise, pick it however you want. Down, up, down, and again, that's just palm muting. Okay, so you can just sit there and do that kind of thing, whatever the song requires. Okay, so that is your C chord. I'll show you the 3 basic chords, and then we'll groove right through them and put some notes in we can add to it. Show you a little bit of theory here, show you the basic do, re, mi thing, so you could get through some of this stuff in order to play some a little bit of lead stuff behind these things, okay, and how to do some of the stuff. And of course, if you want to do this, okay, so now our F chord, this is the hardest one we'll be doing. This thing is a bear, just like on most instruments. Okay, we'll go up here to our high E string, first fret. You can tell which fingers I'm using. We're going to do first, second, and third. Okay, it just basically goes on all the dots, but we're skipping the A string. Skipping that one. We'll play it, but we're not going to put a finger on it. Okay, so again, high E string. Okay, first fret. Skip the A string. We're going right to the D string, third fret, and then all the way up to the fifth fret on the G string. So that one's a monster. Okay. Okay. The only thing that's going to be comfortable there is going to be your middle finger. Everything else is going to basically suck. It's just the nature of the beast. But if you're not going to be playing on this low G string, you can get away with this and actually take your thumb, wrap it, but don't push anything. Just shut up the low G string. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of people do it. You don't have to have the bass note in a lot of these, unless you're providing the majority of the fullness of the chords in, like, say, a bluegrass band or something, and you just don't have the luxury of like a bass guitar of any sort. You know, really need to fill up the sound as much as you can by putting those low notes in. If it's just like you and a guitar player jamming around, then definitely suggest putting all the low notes in you possibly can. Okay, and now the G chord is exactly like the C chord. Let's go back and make the C chord again. Okay, again, you have 3 and 2, the fret numbers 3 and 2, starting on your A string and then your D string. Just move them down. That's all you do. So you move it to the E string and the A string, third fret, second fret. Okay, what's cool is you can hear going from G to C, just back and forth. If you're in the key of G, you can actually hear this. And that's a D chord. If you want that real quick, that is just going to be on your G string, way up here, second fret, and whatever finger you want, but I put my second finger, ring finger, on the second fret of your high E string. Okay, so you get G, C, G, D, okay, but of course that's not what we're doing, but there you go real quick. And again, that's the same strumming. And you can loosen that up. Depending on what the song would require. If you need to mute it. Okay, so you're getting an extra chord there. I've already done one here on YouTube that are those 3 chords, but the F chord, it needs to be taught. Okay, so we have our C. Make sure you got everything ringing out. Now your F chord, yeah, the biggie. Now make sure that your mandolin is low enough, okay? It's going to be right about crotch level, Okay, it's not something you put up here like a ukulele. You'll never be able to make these chords. Then when it comes time to do some variations and some lead stuff and the stuff that makes them so cool, you won't be able to do it because the angle on your wrist will simply be wrong for the instrument. Okay, so the F chord again, and don't forget our A strings are open. Okay, and now our G is going to be easy since we've done the C already and done it when we played G, C, D a minute ago, because I know you caught on with that. And then back to C. Okay, so that's what we've got. Okay, now the really cool thing here is to start with adding notes to this. Okay, we're going to take what's going on here with our middle finger on the 2nd fret here on the D string and simply move it forward. So we have 2 fingers on the same fret. So we're going to take the 2nd fret, move it up to the 3rd fret. Okay, and play all the strings. Okay, if you're not familiar with a hammer-on, let's do it, because we have to do a whole bunch of these as we go later on. You'll get some of them today also. But so we went now up, back here, okay, there's a hammer-on. So what we're doing, I'm going to tell you the fret numbers. 0 or open is going to mean the string is just played open, nothing on it, no fingers on there. So we're going to be moving around here on the D string. Okay, again, the one we're moving around. So you go from 2, means 2nd fret, 3, 3rd fret, 2, and then open, and then we hammer on to 2. Hammer on actually means exactly what it sounds like. You hammer on, pretend like your finger is a hammer, slam it back on there. Don't forget, keep everything curved like this. All your fingers need to be curved like that so they form almost a perfect 90 degrees or 45-degree angle, depends on how many fingers you have. Okay, so we're going to go from 2 to 3 to 2 to open, hammer on, 3, okay. If you want to do what I just did there, because you're just playing in C, okay, that was going to the G string, hammering on. Okay, so you play open, hammer on to the 2nd fret on the G, and then open on the D string, and then play the whole C chord. Okay, and that's just playing only in C. Up to 3, back to 2, open, hammer on the 2, 3, 2, open, sounds really cool. Okay, again, that's open G, hammer onto the A note, and go right there to your D string, and then play the C chord. Okay, and from the C chord, I'm going to show you a couple more things you can do. Is that thing, we all like to do that. Now, if you actually switch this around a little bit, use your second finger, middle finger on the A string 3rd fret, and then we put our first finger here on the D string 2nd fret. It's the same as what we did when we were doing this. We're just changing what fingers we use. And then we're going to play. Okay. And I'll show you the lick, and you can actually follow along and do what I do, and then change up what I do to fit what the song needs. You'll hear a lot of this stuff in a lot of bluegrass, and we steal this here from basically island music. Okay, so Jimmy Buffett type stuff. Okay. So we're going to Margaritaville, you know, and Brown Eyed Girl. Okay, that's where we steal these from. Actually, old bluegrass was where those guys stole it from. Okay, so again, middle finger here on the A string, 3rd fret. Here we are on the D string, 2nd fret. We're only going to play those 4 strings. Again, we have 8 strings, so they're just doubled up. Now when we change, we're going to go like this. We're actually going to switch it up so that we have the ring finger on 5th fret on the A string and the first finger on the D string, 3rd fret. Okay, so we have. Okay. Right now, each of them just gets 1 hit. Now let's just move everything up 2 frets. So now we have our ring finger all the way up here at the 7th fret on the A string, and then on the D string, have our first finger on the 5th fret. So backward 2 frets, and home bass for the C chord. So now we have. Now you can hit all the strings if you want, depending on what you're looking for. Here's everything ringing out. Okay. Okay, there's a place right there to go to if you need to go to it like a G chord and then back to the C. Okay, which is what I just played for you. And then we actually go, which is 2nd fret A strings, and then open on your D strings. And back to home bass. Okay, and an even better sounding version of that. And that's just the second movement of what we did. So when we went, so just the second part of it. Here's the first, second. Okay, so when we do this and come back, then we go here, go to the second thing we did, and then back home. Okay. Okay, when we go back and forth really quick, that's a matter of just getting used to doing it. But only if you need to do it. If you want to do, that takes some, that's wrist action. There's no arm action going on. There's hardly ever, unless you want to go. And most of that is still just wrist. Okay. Okay, I know you want that one, but it's real easy to figure out. Same as the Jeopardy theme. What I want to show you next is actually when we go to the F, there's not a whole lot to do with this. Again, if you take the low string out of here, this low G, you can actually move it down one set of strings. So from the 5th fret. Okay. Now you can actually take, while you're doing this, and that's a hard one to get, which is actually going from the hammer on from the 3rd fret here on the D string, hammering on to the 5th fret. Or you can play them all. But the hammer-ons sound better. And that's taking your middle finger, 2nd finger, taking it from the 3rd fret backward to the 2nd fret, back to the 3rd. So you have... Okay, so that's how we get that. So that's some movement there for you to do while you're in the F. Okay, you can put your pinky all the way down here on the E string at the 5th fret if you want. Okay, since we do have the A string open, and it's not necessary for us to be playing the full chord all the time, you can let up on all the notes except for the 1st fret here, and okay, just play those 2 sets of strings. So on your A and E strings, going from 1st, 3rd, 5th, so just follow on the dots or what you have. Okay, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, open, 1. Okay. So that's what you can do there. That's going to be one of your favorites. Okay. It's going to, on the A string, going to be hammer on. You're going to still leave this here, up on the high E at the first fret. You're going to take your middle and ring finger going from 3rd fret, hammering on to the 5th fret. And, okay, those are going to be downstrokes. Just one downstroke actually, since you're doing a hammer on. Then upward on your high E, which is fretted at the 1st fret. Okay, that's pretty cool. Again, that's just getting out of the chord and going out there and throwing some licks in. We call them licks because that's what they are. Okay, it's just when you're out there showing off and doing what we're supposed to do. Mandolin is not just supposed to be a rhythm instrument all the time. You get to go out there and pick some lead stuff, do your licks. So you can combine those. Okay. a reason you can do that 3rd fret is because it's part of the F chord, because it's all part of this, the original one. So when we're going, okay, and we can actually go to the 7th fret, just like we were doing here and here. We can do it almost all the way through. Okay, so there's how that goes. When you actually get to this last note, you are actually back to F on your high G string. Okay, so very cool. So a lot of things to do there. On the G string, the G chord, we get to do the same stuff that we did on the C, since they are identical except for which strings they're on. So we get to do the okay, so going from the 2nd fret here on the A string up to the 3rd. That's a pull off if you actually hit the note and don't pick it and just actually pull it off. You're actually using your finger as a pick. Okay, so, and you can do the little things that we did before. Okay, and that's a cool one too, doing like we did a second ago, but we got to really scrunch our fingers together, and that's for this. And of course you could do it. Okay, and that is simply doing hammer on from the G position and actually putting a finger, which will be your ring finger, 3rd finger, on the 3rd fret on your A string. So down with your stroke, hammer on, and then up on the high E string. Now you can go up and hit as many notes as you want, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, and again, you can do those same things, and I already pointed it out, but doing the same things we did during the C. Okay, so you can actually stick, major fast. Okay, I'm not getting it going because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning where I'm at, so I'm on my downswing from my pot of coffee. Okay, but that's what we have going on. And then back to your C. Okay, what's cool about the C is, and also the G, is making sevenths out of them. Okay, 7th chords are great when we have a chord progression like this, which is a 1-4-5 progression, which are, I'm sure you'll look up, or you'll know it, or I'll teach it to you next time around. But when you have these 3 chord progressions, okay, if you got the C, okay, that lets you know you're getting ready to change chords to the F, because you could just hear it coming. Okay, so Okay, and all we're doing is simply taking the C note, which is on the A string, 3rd fret, and going backwards 2 frets. So we're getting rid of that original C and putting something in its place 2 frets behind. So you have it already ready, hopefully, if you can get to it real easy. It's not easy to do on the F because you have all this going on and you're trying to take that F and go back 2. You can only go back 1. So it's something you probably wouldn't want to do. But the thing is, in these progressions that are 3 chords, you only want to do the 7ths on the first chord you do, which is the C. And when you go to the F, you don't want to do it. It just sounds really nasty if you do. And then when you go to the G chord, it's nice to just do a 7th. You can actually just do the 7th instead of the regular chord, and it sounds real nice. For example, if we do the C, F, C, to G7. Okay, so that's actually doing the G, getting rid of that G note, replacing it with something 2 frets behind it. Okay, so I'll play the C, F, C, G7. Okay, and during the C, I'll play a C7. Okay, so those are a lot of 7ths going in, and when you do the 7ths again, that lets you know that you're getting ready to go back into a certain chord, and it's very easy to direct anybody else you're playing with to what chord you're going to go to, because you can tell when we're doing this C. When we go to C7, that's going to take you right to the next chord, which will be F. Okay, so it's just like the only chord that's going to sound right after you go to the 7th. And if we do go back to C and we go to G and G7, we know right away that that C is coming again. Okay, and now if I play it slower and let you hear, you can almost, you'll definitely tell what's going on. So C, 7th to F, nothing changing there. C to G, G7. You can tell that's going right to C. Oh, sorry. My bad. Okay, so that's my bad there, of course. So we went from the C to the G7, which only thing that's going to sound right is the root of everything we did from the beginning, meaning the C back to home base. Okay, so that's basically what I'm going to show you for now. I'll show you that on the next one, on one of my other videos on here with the mandolin. It actually shows it in the key of G. Okay, so this typical scale, so you can look for that, and it'll be on a few other videos as well. So again, that be that. Okay, folks, again, that's it for this particular episode. I'll come back and do some more of this if you guys like it. I just had a couple people ask, are you going to do some more mandolin? So it's like, why not? You know, I don't get to play it enough. Well, I could if I keep getting on my ladder and climbing. It's 15 feet up where I keep this one. So, yeah, it's just... it's more work than I care to do to climb all the way up there. Maybe I should hang it a little further down. Anyway, you guys be awesome. Take care of yourselves out there. We never know what's going to happen. And yeah, first case of the coronavirus here in Mesquite, Nevada, about 2 days ago. So it's hitting home, hitting a nerve. Okay, so you guys be safe, all right? And enjoy being sheltered and learning stuff. You know, nothing better to do. And, you know, music is the doctor, so. And I'm the doctor. It says so right there, from here to there. Yes, the doctor is in. So you guys stay groovy. And, again, music is the doctor. Let it keep you feeling good. Take 2 aspirin and call somebody in the morning. I won't be up. Later. Bye.